Good afternoon and welcome to the stream. Yes, I thought I would do Circuit Sunday today, even though it is... Oh, and I'm backwards. What do you know? Well, I was going to show you the temperature, but it's 47.7 degrees Fahrenheit in my basement, so this is going to be fun. Obviously, I need to tell OBS Studio to reverse the camera. Oh well, too late for that. Hi Dave, welcome to the stream. I have BlueSCSIs. I have more BlueSCSI. And I have, well, even more BlueSCSI, and I'm losing parts here as I try to grab them all. There we go. Even more BlueSCSI. So I thought I would put together some of these BlueSCSIs so that I can stop swiping the BlueSCSI from my LC. So we'll take a look at what I have to assemble on the bench. You might can tell, actually, I think that might be an old letter from Tom B, because I think, oh yeah, that's an old letter. That's the one from the first BlueSCSI I put together. Yes. Because I have BlueSCSI 1.1As. Oh, if I can zoom right, there we go. So when you order a BlueSCSI from Tom Barber, you get a lovely letter like this. Yes, thanks, Dave. Yep, I noticed yesterday that I had finally crested 64 subs, so that is a good segue to remind you that if you haven't entered the 64 subscriber giveaway, the link is in the video description. You need to enter on that video, and you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on March 31st to enter. After that, comments will be closed. And the drawing will be on at 8 p.m. on April 1st. You do not need to be present to win, but you will need to watch the video so that you know how to contact me for getting me your address so I can send you your prize, as well as there may be final instructions. So, but back to the BlueSCSIs. So I have from Tom Barber a BlueSCSI 1.1A kit that should be the internal version. I also have one of the external versions, along with the lovely 3D printed case. So, can put that in there once we've built it. And then, now this I bought a while back. I have a, I don't remember exactly which version this is. It's the Desktop BlueSCSI version F1.TBA.D.THTV1 by Tech Androda. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one together. And finally, I had some over easy boards made, because at the time when I tried to order the over easies, everyone was out of stock. So I have over easy boards, as well as the DB25 connectors, and alright, I think I've got more BlueSCSI boards than I have parts to build. So anyways, because I only have 4 of the 50-pin connectors, and I think that was just due to Might have been due to stock, however many DigiKey had in stock. And I at least do know that when you put these together, the ghost is hidden by the DB25. Ah, those actually connectors fit really nice. Alright. Well, I guess, since I've got them on the bench... Yeah, I thought I wanted some over easy, even though they have the external version. I wanted some over easies, so if I'm setting up a BlueSCSI for another computer and I just want to... Or I want to take an internal one and put it external temporarily. So I think all you have to do for these is that. You basically, so you've got the alignment mark on the silkscreen. And then as long as you hide the ghost, I think that's all you need to do. I should probably pull up the instructions just to double check. Let's see here. I'll go to SCSI.blue and see if I can find the link for the instructions, or at least a picture. Of the completed unit. Ah, here we go. There's the link. Open in new tab. There we go. There we go, the assembly instructions. Yes, alright. I just double checked. So yes, that white mark is indeed where the notch should go if you have a keyed SCSI connector, which I would probably recommend. I don't know exactly what bad things happen if you put your SCSI connector, plug your SCSI in backwards, but well, at best, it won't work. I don't know that it would actually damage anything, because... Although there is termination power, but... Otherwise, I think that's the only power of any sort running through the SCSI bus. Alright. Actually, you know, it'd probably be easier to solder this if I solder the SCSI connector first, so I can get it nice and flush to the board, and then put the DB25 connector on. Alright, there we go. And I bought a new Fume Extractor. Despite the fact that it looks like it's a Hacko, it's not a Hacko. It is a Hacko clone. But I wanted to get one of these and try it out, because these are the ones you can set down on the table like that, and I'm hoping it will be more effective at absorbing the smoke. Plus, because it can lay down like that, it doesn't create a shadow on the camera from it lurking over the board. so I can actually put it closer to where I'm working. Alright, so we'll tack the two ends, make sure it looks nice and flush. It does. Alright, now we have pins. Alright, if anyone's wondering, I ordered my PCBs from JLC PCB. They're not a sponsor, but I'd ordered some other boards from them and they did a good job, so I thought I'd give them a try for these. And plus, I could get the boards in blue, because I kind of thought Blue SCSI in a different color just doesn't seem right. I don't think they charge extra for blue. Or at least if they do, it's not like a lot extra. Because they have some colors that I think they've got a couple of colors that are standard. And then they have a few that cost you a little extra. And then they have some that are like a lot extra. Alright, so there's .50 pins, decently soldered. For some reason that one, little blob of solder. Alright. And now, DB25 connector. As long as you don't see the ghost. Just need to line all the pins up. And then snap it down. And that will actually hold pretty well. I know. Everyone else is over watching Steve. Well, they're free to hop by and watch me assemble BlueSCSIs. Double checking the large solder pads there. Make sure I got. Just want to make sure there's enough there to keep the connector in. Should be fine. All right. All right. And that looks assembled. So that is a over easy. Well, I got some more of those to put together, but I'll come back to those. Alright, so this lets you plug in an internal BlueSCSI into an external port. Which could be handy. So, that's that. Alright, so I think the next one I'm going to put together is the one from Tech Androda. Alright, so we got a 3D printed piece in blue, of course. Alright, I'll set that off to the side so I don't accidentally melt it. I have the... So I've got the board. I had the surface mount component soldered on. I have a screw that I'm setting to the side. So we've got our SCSI connector. And some See, these are going to be the terminating resistor sockets. And those are the terminating resistors. And we've got a Berg power plug and a I think that's going to be a linear regulator of some type. And let's see, there's some jumper pins, another screw, some more jumper pins, and a jumper. We'll take the jumper and put that to the side. A cap, some diodes, and resistors. Alright, so let's see here. I can find the instructions. So this is a Desktop BlueSCSI. Should be that one there. Alright, we're just looking for the kit assembly. Here we go. Alright, so we've got all the parts. Alright. Alright, so there are 3 resistors. So the small resistor is R2, so I'm going to set it to the side. Alright, the one with the yellow stripe in the middle is R1, so I'm going to set that in the same order as the picture on the website. And then the last resistor is R3. Yeah, does look pretty easy. Alright, and then we have 2 diodes. That is a linear regulator. Let me set these parts to the side. Alright, I'm not sure what order. Alright. Alright. So, I think for this, alright, so we have also the thing about this Desktop BlueSCSI is that it uses a different module than the mainline BlueSCSI. So It's a... well, it's a something faster. Alright. So I think this will be easier to put together if I do shortest to tallest components. And the shortest components are going to be the two diodes and 3 resistors. So, just zoom out just a little bit here. Make it easier to make sure I'm in frame. Alright, so... alright. Got 2 diodes. And we'll make sure we line up the stripes. And so this Desktop BlueSCSI I'll probably use in a faster Mac, or it may go in my Amiga. Although I don't know if the Amiga can... It'll go in something that'd be better able to make use of the fact that the microcontroller is faster, so it will be able to transfer data more efficiently. Alright, so R1 is this one here. And R2 is this little one here. And then the instructions say that some of the boards have the third resistor marked R19, and that is the case on this one. So put the last resistor there, and then I'm going to also try to there we go. I'll get the linear regulator while I'm at it. So it needs to be lined up so that the screw goes through the hole. And to make sure it stays aligned while I solder things, I'm going to put the screw. There we go. I'll use the screw as an alignment peg. There we go. Move this tape over. There we go. Let's use some Kapton tape to hold things into place. Alright, so there we go. That is the short components. And I took care to make sure the screw goes through the linear regulator, because that holds the linear regulator up against the board. There's a thermal pad under the linear regulator. blob of solder on my soldering iron. I can get it to solder. Come on. There must be a ground plane here. Okay. Oh yeah, there's some pretty significant traces there. That's why. Alright. Did that actually solder? Oh yeah, that's soldered. Alright, and get the two resistors here. Alright, and that is... everything looks soldered there. Alright, I'm going to cut the leads. I'm off camera. There we go. Alright, there we go. And the tape held everything into place. Beautiful. And the hole is lined up for the linear regulator. And I think I've got the leads cut short enough that it should fit on the carrier. Oh yeah, there's actually plenty of clearance underneath. Alright. Very nice. Should line up good enough. Alright. So let's see. The next tallest components are... well, actually, it'd probably be the... microcontroller. I'll actually... let's see here. It's probably the microcontroller. Let's see. I need to figure out how to... I guess we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. So I gotta... so it came with a... pin header strip that you cut in half, and that gives you the pins. And I'm going to use the board as an alignment jig. So let me go grab a helping hands thing. That's better. Felt like I was forgetting something. Alright. So what I'm going to do is... So I've got the magnetic attachments for my quad hands. And I'm just going to use the fact that my table is stainless steel. There we go. And for this, I'll actually stand the fume extractor upright. And there we go. Should be able to tack some pins on. The desktop board will keep the pins straight on the module. So I can... Well, I'll be able to tack them. I won't be able to apply much weight because they'll move, but at least let me tack them. And then once I've got them tacked, I can... Hi, Thomas! Alright. Let's see here, and let's... let's see here. Alright, so now the pins are tacked. So I should be able to solder the rest of them, keeping it somewhat straight. So now I'll go back to laying it flat on the table. I'll get a few of the pins in the middle just so that actually probably don't need to do that. Pins on the side there. Those pins look good, and just going to double check I didn't shift anything. Yep, still fits. Alright. Now I'll go down the other side. Alright, get solder. Come on. There we go. I think that's... Well, okay, I don't like the appearance of those two joints, so let me... touch those up. That still kind of looks supportable. There we go. Alright, I think that looks good. So now this goes on the board with the USB over top. Words USB. There we go. Oh, that's a nice... Yeah, that's not going to move. That. That's a ground plane. That's why I was having so much trouble there. Alright. solder ball. Nope. Alright. For whatever reason. I'm going to add some flux because this solder is not flowing very well on those pins. I'll also bump the iron temperature up a little. Alright, let's see. Get that closer to my smoke absorber. That's better. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so that should be soldered. And it looks nice, so I'm going to whip the pins. Sending them off everywhere into my basement. Well, I guess I will be. I think I've got 3 BlueSCSI to assemble, so this is the first of the 3. And I've got a couple more over easies to assemble. I may sprinkle those in. All right. Clean up the extra solder flux. There we go. Let that dry for a moment. Apparently don't have any paper towels down here. Lovely. All right. Ah, I do have. Well, I think that duster has had it. Yeah, that one is officially empty. Yay. Oh. Knocked over the bottle of isopropyl alcohol. Alright. Yeah, I'm just out of paper towels down here in the basement. I'll probably have to get some when I go to the grocery store. Because I may be out in the house. Alright, so that somewhat cleaned up the tacky flux. So I could just make sure everything looked fine. I cut these pins a little shorter than I like to, so... make sure these... I didn't break any solder joints when I clipped the pins. Yeah, I clipped. Hi, Rudy. Welcome to the stream. All right. Alright, so we got the microcontroller on. Let's see, I think the probably next tallest components are the probably the pin headers, or the sockets here. I'm just gonna, basically, these are, I think this was a 20 pin socket that had been cut in half. So I just kind of clipped the clippings a little more flush, and I'm going to use some Kapton tape here to hold them into place. And go ahead and solder those into place. Now, I've got a total of 3, but I've got one of this style and then one each of 2 other styles. So this one's the Desktop BlueSCSI from Tech by Androda. And then I have a BlueSCSI 1.1C internal, and then I've got one of the BlueSCSI 1.1C DB25s. So this one's going to go into one of my faster machines because it has can do a higher data transfer rates because it's got a faster microcontroller on it. So this one might actually go in my 2CI, although it might not be able to take advantage of the speed. No, I'm not selling them. I'm just assembling a couple kits that I have. Huh. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Yeah, this one has the let me see. Let me see if it's I'm looking on his website to see if it says. It's STM32F103. All right. So it's supposedly, well, it doesn't say how much faster. The website says that it is clocked faster than the one normally used on BlueSCSIs. And it also has more, I think, more RAM and more flash space on it. How much more, I don't know right offhand. Alright. Yeah. I mean, maybe someday I'll sell BlueSCSIs. Of course, that would require approval by the BlueSCSI people, but at the moment I'm just assembling these so I have some for my Marcintosh projects. Because otherwise I keep swiping the one out of my LC. Well, I guess I got that one a little crooked. Let's see if I can straighten that up real quick. Oh, it's probably okay. Yeah, it's good enough for government work. Alright. So I'll go ahead and get these last few components. Alright, so this fuse will probably... Alright, well, thanks for joining, Rudy. Yeah, I'll update the description later with the links to the BlueSCSIs I'm assembling. Although, at the moment, Tech by Androda is out of stock of this particular item. Because I think that is the only... At the moment, that is the only place you can get this style BlueSCSI. Making sure I got the SCSI connector on straight, or flush. There we go. You never know when someone might be looking at your handiwork. So I guess if someone's watching this and they're wondering how easy this is to assemble, it's actually, I would say, fairly easy. I mean, some of the pins are close, but I'd say maybe if you've tried one of those Learn to Solder kits, then you could get the SMD pre-assembled version of this board, and then you're just doing through-hole. And I'd say it's a be simple even for a beginner. Just go slow and steady. I guess on this board there's a couple of SMD components, so although they are, I think the smallest pitch of the SMD components is the micro SD socket. The capacitors are actually, for SMD components, they're actually a fairly large size. If I were going to assemble a bunch of these and do the micro SD sockets, I'd probably get a stencil and use solder paste and my reflow oven. I've got one of those Wizu Controlio reflow ovens that I built from a kit. Hi, Alex. All right. Oh, did I get that? Yeah, I got that. All right, I think that's all the parts soldered. And the only other thing I need to do is install the resistor packs. According to the picture, that one goes like this. And this one goes in the other way. Yes. Alright, and jumper for Alright, and then just go ahead and attach this to the frame here. Let's see. Oh. Yep, there we go. Hi, Luke. Welcome to the stream. Oh, cool, Hi Strider. All things DG. Adam. Steve. All right, we'll talk to you later, Alex. Vintage Hillbilly Shack. I will attempt to keep up with people joining the stream. Welcome. I am assembling BlueSCSIs so that I have... Oh. Welcome, Strider. I guess for those of you just joining, I have a 64 subscriber giveaway going on. Link is in the video description. I have exceeded 64 subscribers. So the giveaway now has an end date of March 31st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if you'd like to win the C64 Mini in celebration of my 64 subscribers, go to the video in the description and enter there. So, and all the rules and all the required disclaimers are on that video. Hi, Starbuck Tech. Yeah. All right, so this is the, again, the Desktop BlueSCSI by Tech by Androda. And it is ready to, it'll be ready to try. I'll probably have to, I'll go grab a Mac from upstairs at some point and actually just test these. So, anyways, so now I've got that and did an over easy. Although I know the over easies might not be the latest fashionable trend. Ah, welcome. Welcome 1-Bit Fever Dreams. And that the other channel, sorry, I did not catch the channel name. SCSI to SD, yes. It's another good project for being able to get your vintage Macs up and running. So anyways, I know the over easy may not be the cool kid on the block these days because you can now get a BlueSCSI that has a DB25 connector on it. But I still thought it'd be good to have some over easies because, well, they could also be used for oh. Well, welcome Angular Momentum. Ah, the dog cow. How cool. Alright, so this is a BlueSCSI DB25 1.1a. I would say is the official BlueSCSI solution to using your BlueSCSI externally. So I got one of these because I've always thought it'd be cool to have an external, like, boot drive for vintage Macs. Put all the disk install images that I'd want to install on it, and an OS that'll boot on lots of different Macs. Or I could set up two micro SD cards, one for your 68K Macs and probably Mac OS 755 or something like that, and then maybe another one for PowerPC. Oh no. Adam, it's not in your ultrasonic cleaner, is it? Alright, so anyways, it comes with this cool case. And so it's just like a nice external drive. I don't, yeah. So yes, if you're ever watching one of Joe's streams and he can't find his device, make sure he probably will always check his ultrasonic cleaner now first, but he had a Color Classic board he could not find, and it turns out it had been in his ultrasonic cleaner for a week. And if anyone's wondering, no, they don't get cleaner if you just leave them in. So yeah, all right. Thanks for joining, Strider. Well, on those older Macs, there's not like a boot picker, so I would have, I'd have to set the micro SD card up with it'd be set up with the volume that could boot one version. So, anyways, so what I'm going to do here is, well, I'm going to go ahead and oh, yeah, that's, yeah, I haven't left fluid in an ultrasonic cleaner that long yet, but that does not surprise me that it would turn into a goopy mess. Alright, so yeah, I'm first going to just use this to my advantage, where I can actually hold it in the board holders here to get the pins on the blue pill straight. So this being a BlueSCSI, this just uses the standard blue pill board. So I don't know what, the text is kind of hard to read without the microscope, so I'm not exactly sure what the microcontroller is on this compared to the one that Tech by Androda uses on the desktop BlueSCSI. And even if I could read the text, I'm actually not sure that I'm really not sure that it's actually, because this chip is printed that it's an ST microcontroller, but I'm not convinced it's actually an ST micro chip. Hello, Geek with Social Skills. Welcome. Yeah, a lot of these blue pills now that you get if you order them from Amazon or whatnot, they don't have it's a counterfeit chip on them. I mean, it is an ARM microcontroller, but it's not the controller that's laser etched onto the chip. Oh, it's an STM32 microcontroller. I see that it's silkscreened on this board. In reality, it's probably a generic ARM 32-bit microcontroller. The only drawback with the blue pills that have the counterfeit microcontrollers on them is they have trouble with SanDisk micro SD cards. which seems oddly specific, but, well... Luckily, these days, I'm usually buying Samsung micro SD cards. And the Samsung micro SD cards work great in the BlueSCSI. Even the ones that have the blue pill that doesn't have a genuine chip. So, should you be worried if you buy a BlueSCSI that it's got a counterfeit chip on it? No. They are tested. So, they're tested and pre-programmed. And other than the counterfeit ones don't, for whatever reason, they don't like... Either they don't like SanDisk microSDs, or the SanDisk microSD doesn't like the microcontroller. They work just the same. So you should not worry at all. Now, Retro Techie, be careful what you ask for. A C63. Yeah, I know you corrected yourself, but... Well, all you gotta do is enter the giveaway and win the giveaway. And I will send you a C64 Mini. It's that easy. And I guess for... And it's the NTSC version. I suspect it's sometime, Retro Techie. I will find something that will make it that I will send your way. And yeah, I think everyone's holding you to that you wanted a C63 Mini. I think the C63 Mini would be a C64 Mini after the 8-bit guy takes a paper clip to it to try to repair it. Ba-doom boom. And now I probably just guaranteed the 8-bit guy will never subscribe to my channel. Oh well. Alright. No, these are not heat-proof gloves. These are just so that... Yeah, I know. Although Geek with Social Skills, it's not like I'm the first person that has fired shots at David for that incident, and I probably won't be the last. Yeah, I do, yes, I mean, I do subscribe to the 8-bit guy because he's done some Amiga videos. Although, yeah, yes, Clint thoroughly roasted David in his video on Computer Reset, and it is... David had to be okay with it because David's in the video with a paperclip in his hands. So... Yeah, I'm sure if David, for what his next subscriber milestone, does a walkthrough of his best and worst YouTube moments, the paperclip in the IBM Executive Workstation is probably #1 on the worst YouTube moments list. Well, maybe #2. There was that really gross keyboard he bought at an estate sale on his 8-Bit Keys channel. That thing was really bad with corrosion, so it is possible, although his worst C64, that was pretty gross too, but this is leaded solder. The reason I'm wearing gloves is because I don't have a sink down here in the basement. So, maybe someday. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't have a plumbed sink in the basement. Because I'm sure at some point... okay, I don't think you can see it at this camera angle. But I've had camera angles in the past where... Oh, I just realized I forgot to put the diode on. Alright, well... Yeah, that was a pretty nasty VIC-20. Alright, luckily I caught that before I had too many pins on. Yeah, as I was saying, for some of you that have seen certain angles in my basement, you probably would be saying, but don't you have a sink on the floor? And yes, I do. Okay. How do I get the, just solder the diode from the bottom. Well, the problem is it's a through-hole diode. And the diode is right here. I forgot to put the diode in the board. Also, I only soldered 4 pins, so... I caught myself before I did any more. Oh! Okay. Yes, that would work. Good catch, Adam. Alright, let me make sure I got the... Alright, so that spacing should work. So, let's see here. Alright, almost. Yeah, it was only 4 pins. I caught myself pretty soon, but actually that's still a good idea. Because the board's still stuck from soldering one of the holes, so let me... I cut the pins too long. I can fix that one there. But I do need to... Alright, there we go. Good catch. Yeah, measure twice, cut once. There we go. All right. Crisis averted. Okay. I should. Yeah, I really should flip my hat backwards. You're right. There we go. Except now that it's interfering with the hood on my hoodie. Alright. So now we'll get the blue pill soldered on. All right. Oh, I think I did. There we go. I got a little blob of solder on the micro SD slot. Alright, I have a bridge there to fix. Oh, alright. Let's see if I can clip these pins without clipping them too short. That's weird. Yes. So last night I had my Tektronix oscilloscope open because I was trying to determine what I needed to install the video capture board in it. And while I had it open, I discovered that it uses a Motorola 68020 processor. Oh. I'm not sure what I was bouncing pins off of, but maybe that wasn't the best of ideas. Yeah. All right. So I think the next thing should be the resistors, nuts. I guess I need to check the directions really quick. Let's see here. Kit, assembly instructions. Oh. Alright. Good thing I checked. So there are two different resistor nut sizes. There's ones that have a 221 on them and a 331. And I think the board is silkscreened, but it is incredibly tiny silkscreen. Alright. So the 221 ones go closer to the blue pill. And on this version, they all go the same direction. Alright, we'll see you later, Thomas. And the 331s go closer to the DB25. And grab a piece of tape here from the reject pile. So at least kind of hold those somewhat into place. There we go. Well, at least on the tech scope, I'm going to have to try to find some parts before I can install the TV capture board. Because it looks like Tektronix, depending on what options you ordered, determined which cables and backplanes they used internally. So if you didn't order an option board that went onto the D1 bus, well, the D1 bus doesn't have enough connectors on it. So plus there's another board that has some high-pitch connector on it that I need too. So someday I'll just have to keep an eye out for parts at a reasonable price. Those Tektronix spare parts can go for quite a bit of money. But at least while I was in there, I lubricated the fan, so hopefully the fan won't make as loud of a noise when I next use it and run it long enough that the fan spins up. All right. And last but not least, put the DB25 on. It covers up the Bad Wolf text. Because I guess if you put this on upside down, it'll, well, it won't work as effectively. And by won't work as effectively, I mean it won't work at all. Yeah, I can see the 2FX is, yeah, that'll need a bigger tank. Alright. And now we have a SCSI Blue DB25. Quite a few. There's solder bits on the board. Probably put it through the ultrasonic cleaner. Probably just put them all through it for good measure. Anyway, there we go. And actually, looking at the instructions, that diode was supposed to go on the bottom anyways. And this will... just kind of... Oh yeah, there we go. I can put it on right, there we go. And it just kind of fits nicely in its case. I'm not going to snap that down because I'm going to pull the board out to clean it, but nice compact little external BlueSCSI. Alright. Set that to the side. And last but not least, I have a full-size BlueSCSI. Oh, there's my BlueSCSI sticker. Alright. Ah. So let me attach the board. Set these two screws off to the side for safekeeping. Yes, I will remember the diode this time. Well, it also has the benefit of it doesn't go on under the blue pill. So, alright, so I guess the first thing to do is to go ahead and solder the header pins on the blue pill. Those header pins seem... There we go. Actually, yeah, fish aquarium would be a really good retro bright tank. Of course, being careful that it's glass, but yeah, get one cheap from someone that gave up on trying to raise fish. Ah, yes. Yep. Alright, fix the... Yeah, that would be the disadvantage of a fish tank. It would be heavy. But if you have a big enough computer that you needed a large fish tank, and you wanted to be able to position the lights anywhere around it, well, that'd be where I would set the fish tank up in a place where it could live. Oh, you know, if I set this upright, it would be a bit more effective at this height. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'll go grab a Mac at some point and I'll actually test these out. I'll borrow a micro SD card that's already set up for the BlueSCSI. So, 'cause I would like to make sure they work, especially before I put them through the ultrasonic cleaner. Alright, so I got the header pins on the blue pill. So let me go ahead and get the short components, starting with the 2 diodes so that I don't forget them. Just want to make sure I align the stripes. And let me go ahead and get these 2 resistors as well. Yeah, actually, I think a lot of aquariums do have a clear bottom, just because they're glass. Although it wouldn't surprise me if some of them have something other than clear glass on the bottom these days to save costs, because most people put gravel on the bottom of their aquarium so you'd never see the glass, but I guess it wouldn't surprise me if someone figured out you could save costs on making an aquarium if you put something opaque on the bottom. Alright, well, talk to you later, geek with social skills. Oh, awesome. TRS 80 recap. Alright, so we got the resistors and diode. I guess I might as well just go ahead and get the... Maybe I'll just get these resistor nets and jumpers. So, alright, so like the DB25, there are 2 resistor nets that are marked 221 and 2 that are marked 331. And the dot goes, so the pad that's square that's also boxed off is where the dot goes. Yes, I'm there we go. Fortunately, this is the 1.1C, so the resistor nets go the same way. But yes, that is a good point. If you've got one of the older versions, for whatever reason, the resistor nets do not go the same direction. I mean, maybe you've had it for a while, haven't built it yet. Maybe there's something about the old version that you need. Potential the 1.1C version, if you're using an over easy, it might fit more Macs. I'm trying to remember, there's a chart on the BlueSCSI webpage that shows the compatibility of the various BlueSCSIs with the over easy. Seemingly thinking that maybe there's some Macs that have a recessed SCSI port that this newer BlueSCSI just won't fit on an over easy. Or I could be completely imagining things. I do sometimes do that too. I mean, after all, we lost an hour of sleep last night to save daylight. Of course, I had trouble falling asleep last night, so I tried to watch a movie to fall asleep to. And some point near the end of the movie, I looked at a clock, because I'd actually kind of forgotten at that moment that we went to daylight savings time, and it was my phone. I was like, 4:19 a.m. I didn't think this movie was that long. And no, the movie wasn't that long. It's just we lost an hour of time while I was watching the movie. Oh, yeah, I know. I fell asleep shortly after the movie ended. I probably picked the wrong movie to try to fall asleep to. I'm also still trying to think in my mind, did I watch a science fiction movie or a horror movie? Or both? Because it was the Tomorrow World. It was like, Amazon, I was on Amazon Prime, and it was like, here are movies we think you'll like to watch. And the Tomorrow World was in the list. I was like, okay, well, I guess that seems like a movie I might be able to fall asleep to, and no. It was... I guess it'd probably be easier to put these jumpers on first. Here. I think that goes that way. Let me check the instructions. Yep, alright. And then these go this way. Oh, awesome. Well, I do know my 128 subscriber challenge is still good. Alright, let's see if I can't... Oh yeah, those power books use really weird SCSI connectors. But let them fit all the ports on the back. Well, and I guess it did also give the power books an advantage, because a lot of PC notebooks, you'd have to use a PCMCIA card to use an external drive, whereas your power book, built-in SCSI. I mean, you paid for the privilege, but... Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the SCSI standard dictated that 50 pin Centronics connector. So at least for normal SCSI, you don't need 50 pins. You just need 25. I mean, I might see 50 pins if it's like wide SCSI. Because I know ultra-wide SCSI uses that 68 pin connector. It's almost like when they were developing the spec, they, the SCSI spec authors were connector shopping, and Centronics said, hey, we're having a sale on these 50 pin connectors. And the SCSI people said, sold. kind of got these two pins here crooked. See if I can't straighten them a little bit. Let's see. Second. Put these jumpers on the pins so I can actually have something to. Okay, well that's not going to work. Let's see here. Find something to. Yes, I actually, Alex, I've been tossing around in the back of my mind having a 1,000 subscriber challenge. I just don't know. Let's just say the item I have in mind, which you all don't know about yet. Well, most of y'all don't know about. I think there are a few people that might know I have it. But, let's just say that the it that I have, I don't know if it works. And I quite honestly think it might be missing cards. But yeah, actually, I do have Ko-Fi set up where, although I realized I don't have D. Yeah, some people probably think Danger is my middle name. Other people are probably wondering why my middle name is not Trouble. But it's probably good it's my middle name's not Trouble because a funny story. So the week after I started working at the place I work at, we had another Justin M join the team. So it was no longer sufficient to just simply say Justin, and you couldn't just put Justin M, because that was still ambiguous. We had different middle initials. Oh, I got solder in one of the... Well, that's weird. Alright. I don't know why my soldering iron doesn't like me today. Yeah, sure enough, I got... Oh, alright, I might have to do this. There we go. I got solder into one of the vias. Alright, so I guess now it's time to solder the blue pill. Yes, I have the diodes on, so diode check, yes. Yeah, but anyways, I think as I was saying, I do have Ko-Fi set up, but I just haven't set OBS Studio up yet to have their overlay. But if someone did want to send a tip my way to help pay for my expensive hobby, you can use Ko-Fi. And the good thing is they charge less than YouTube. Just sometimes when I stream, I get to streaming and realize that I don't plug everything that I could be during a video, so yeah, I was going to set OBS Studio up so that it could like show my because I have a goal set up on Ko-Fi, because I did buy a ultrasonic cleaner recently. And so I was kind of thinking it'd be nice to pay myself back for that, because it was rather expensive. Because it was money I would have otherwise put towards buying some vintage computers. But I decided that, well, you know, getting an ultrasonic cleaner that's large enough to clean large motherboards is kind of something I need more. Especially because for two computers that I'll be working on in upcoming streams, I realized my old ultrasonic cleaner, there's no way the boards will fit in it. So I bought a 33-liter ultrasonic cleaner, and it's big enough that my Amiga 1000 motherboard will fit in it, and there's actually still some room side to side to spare. So I could clean actually a fairly large motherboard. And actually, I'm very tempted, although I don't know how much to charge, but I'm tempted to open up that you can, if you've got boards that you need cleaned, but your ultrasonic cleaner is not large enough, that I'll clean them and return them. Although with, hopefully, shipping prices might be a bit of a downer, but well, I guess if you got a board big enough. Alright, well, a few of those pins kind of look pathetic, so let me touch some of these up. Make sure there's enough solder on the joint. It's a good joint. Let's see here. Yep. Alright, those all look good. Oh, that's weird. I somehow splashed solder on my isopropyl alcohol bottle. Not exactly something I really want to splash hot metals onto. Yeah. Anyways, I'll probably make an announcement on the channel when I actually do decide. But that, and I'll also actually try to measure exactly how big of a board I can fit in it. Because I know, if you've seen an Amiga 1000 motherboard, yeah, it's rather on the large side. But for Mac people, that doesn't, probably doesn't help you know what it would actually fit. So I need to measure, or take a look at the dimensions of the basket and figure out maybe a few examples of boards that it would fit. Yeah, I'll probably stream about it, because not that I've put it in a place where it's I can easily show it, but well, for a special purpose stream, I can run a camera or cable over there. But actually, so if you look at the wall behind me, that's the stairs going upstairs. And I put the ultrasonic cleaner under the stairs, because there's an outlet. Yeah, I actually do want to kind of because actually what I've done is I put it under the stairs because there's an outlet under the stairs. And because to kind of try to help isolate the sound so that I could actually stream while cleaning, I'm going to try to put some curtains up across the opening. It's not framed for a door, and I don't really want to put a door up just yet. So I'm going to try some heavy curtains to dampen the sound. But I was thinking about putting a camera in it. Just so that, I mean, it's not the most captivating thing watching an ultrasonic cleaner go, but people are going to ask to see the ultrasonic cleaner views, so I figure why not. Alright, so I think... Is that how this goes? I guess so. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to do that, Adam, because... because at the moment I have an extension cord running from downstairs or from upstairs, so I can plug more things in when I need to do it. And for those of you that are worrying that it's a little chintzy extension cord, no, it's a 12 gauge power cord, so it would be the same power cord that I would need if I needed to run the power washer down to my shed, because the shed needs painted this year. And it'll need power washed before I paint it. And so the 12 gauge power cord should definitely be good for running power down there. I would maybe like my extension cord back, because I don't feel obligated to buy another one just to... There we go. But, yeah, actually, I'm using it right now so I can have the, I've got a heater running beside me, because anyone that's on the East Coast probably knows that it got cold. We had several nice warm days last week during the day. And it was actually warm enough to get my basement close to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. But my basement's now back down under 50, so... It was actually cold enough, I actually scheduled this... Yeah, I know, I scheduled while Steve was streaming. It was, well... The times I can solder on Sundays is, well, I've got things I got to do this evening, so. But yeah, I was also kind of the waffling on it because the basement got cold. Yeah, I need some G5s down here, because they might actually be a little more effective than the radiator I have sitting beside me. We've got one last row of pins. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think now that I see the connector that they put on this version of the BlueSCSI, I think I was not imagining things when I was... that the over easy with certain Macs won't work with the revision 1.1 of the BlueSCSI because it comes with a right-angled connector. Now, granted, you could, if you got the straight connector, then I think you could. But there's some of those Macs, like I want to say the LC575, where the motherboard is recessed in the Mac. So that would be probably the one thing that if you were looking at getting one of the a BlueSCSI so you could use it externally or internally. I mean, I probably, honestly, if you're going to build one, get the 1.1C version. But that would be something to consider, that if you wanted to get one that you could use in just about any case, you'd probably want to put one of the straight SCSI connectors on it. But yeah, the right-angled connector was used, though, yeah, exactly, so that so that the cable doesn't like stick up when you internally install it. So, all right, I think that's the desktop BlueSCSI, or no, just the BlueSCSI. So, there we go. And yeah, basically this is so, I mean, for example, you can put it in the over easy, but for those Macs where the SCSI port's recessed, it wouldn't go. And yeah, actually, I think I need to remove these now that I'm looking at it. If I'll try to remember to put the part number for these headers, because one thing you want, if you do buy your own parts to build an over easy, not all of these DB25 connectors are made such that you can remove those two screws, and the shell. Notice the shell's not moving. So this is actually one of the good styles. There's other ones where you'd have to do what they did here and put a screw back through it to hold it back together. So, I mean, you could do that too, but I found the DB25 connectors where it doesn't rely on that screw to hold it together. So, I'll try to remember to put the part number. Assuming they're in stock. I think when I ordered them, the place I got them from didn't have many. But so that's the over easy, the BlueSCSI 1.1C, the BlueSCSI DB25, and then the desktop BlueSCSI. So now, hopefully, I will have a wide array of BlueSCSI devices for using with Macs. And of course now, I don't think this would be a fair live stream without at least trying to show that those do indeed work. So I'm going to go on a be right back so I can go grab well, there's only one Mac I can use at the moment, and that's the LC. So let me go upstairs and grab the LC and bring it down here so we can give that a try. So I will be back very soon. Alright, I have the LC down here. And I'm going to... Let's see here, that's not the right place. Settings. Hold on, looking for the... Oh, I guess I can't do that while I'm live. Okay. I'll do it this way. No, I won't do it that way. Let's try that. There we go. Oh, no OBS. Bad. No, we don't want you to blow up Mac OS into, There we go. Oh. Alright. So, I've got a new scaler down here in the basement. And... well, alright. So, it looks like it's just going to stretch the screen. But at least you can see... At least you can see the desktop. Even if my camera is not visible on that view. Oh. Oh, but I can fix that. I think. There we go. All right. So, I've got the LC down here because it works. And because I don't want to try to unsnap the power supply from it. So, just to make sure I had the scaler set up right, I booted it with the BlueSCSI that's in it right now. So it's the one I put together back, I think it was October 31st. Alright, so, to make it easy, I'm just going to use the same micro SD card so that we know that that micro SD card is configured to correctly boot from a BlueSCSI. So, first I'll try the BlueSCSI 1.1C. So I'll put the micro SD card in it. I'm not going to screw it down on its little cool holder because I'm going to put it through the ultrasonic cleaner. But to keep it from shorting out on the RF shield on the LC, I'll put it into place. Alright, I have the termination power jumpers enabled. And, well, I know the LC is going to chime. Well, okay. Alright, unfortunately, the way that gray background is on the Mac, it kind of really... There's nothing I can really do about that with the scaler, but that's why I've got a different wallpaper selected. So anyways, this is the BlueSCSI 1.1C, and it is correctly booting the computer. It has the green LED on the blue pill is blinking for disk activity. And if the LC had an external LED jumper, I'd plug it in, but the LC doesn't. So, alright, so that BlueSCSI is working correctly. And as soon as the power of the O20 CPU finishes booting into macOS, we'll try the next one. Alright. Well, that's good. I'll shut this down. Alright. So that one works. And I guess I'll test the desktop BlueSCSI for Tech by Androda. It has the... I don't think the LC will really... I don't think the LC is going to be able to make much use of the faster microcontroller. I guess I could be surprised, though. Same micro SD. And... all right, there we go. Again, this one I might put in the 2CI. It has a better chance of being able to make use of this extra speed. Although, then again, it might not be able to. I guess I could run a disk benchmark if I really wanted to. Yeah, I don't think the LC's booting that much faster with the desktop BlueSCSI than with the BlueSCSI. I just don't think its SCSI controller's up to much extra performance. But once again, it works. So this will... all right. All right, so we'll go to the next one. So actually for this one, because of what my use case was for buying the over easy, I'm going to plug the original BlueSCSI into the over easy. Oh, no, I won't be doing that. The 3D printed housing, the cutout on the 3D printed housing is not quite big enough to fit a DB25 connector. Oh, yeah, it's about a ½ inch too narrow. All right. Well, I will use the BlueSCSI 1.1C on the over easy. I mean, I'm really expecting this. Actually, no, I won't. Haha. It's too wide. It's hitting the ADB connector. Okay. I'll have to test that some other way. Possibly, I may have to go run upstairs and grab a SCSI cable. Okay. Well, I'll put that back to the side. All right. How about the BlueSCSI DB25? That one I know will fit because it's narrow enough. Yeah, I bet it would work really nice in the Quadro 700. In fact, I mean, the 2CI might be fast enough to make use of it too, since it's a 25 megahertz 030. I mean, it at least has a 32-bit bus. All right, and once again, welcome to Macintosh. Well, I think I'll just forego testing the over easy. It's considering there's no active components on it. Yes, I might have messed something up, but I know it is so unfortunate that, I mean, I guess on the LC I could understand it, but I'm not sure I really can give the LC2 a pass. It's not like Apple didn't know that the machine was popular enough at that point that they should have just probably put it on a 32-bit bus. Because on the one hand, if the LC2 was basically putting an 030 in place of the 020, and that was all they did, I could see them maybe give them a pass, but they did relay out the motherboard. So they already did work to create a new motherboard, and yet they held it on a 16-bit bus. So I can't give them a pass on the LC2. They should have just gone to a 32-bit bus and left it at even it was at like 16 megahertz, but at least give it a 32-bit bus. Yes. So I think the LC will keep its original BlueSCSI. So, all right, but the BlueSCSI DB25 works, which is really awesome. So now I'll set it up as a boot disk. I'll probably set it up as like a really large external drive that can boot OS 7, some version of System 7. At least I'll probably get a couple of micro SDs so I can have a couple different versions. But hey, Retro Tech Chris, I was just trying out some BlueSCSIs I assembled. So now I don't have to keep stealing BlueSCSIs from my LC as I get some of my Macs working for Marcintosh. So, but this will be really cool. I can have an external drive with installers for my vintage Macs. So, alright, that's pretty cool. I now have BlueSCSIs so that I don't have to keep stealing them from other computers. Oh. The shutdown with the extra step involved. All right, that is awesome. So yes, I did, after the stream of the LC2 the other day, I did manage to figure out what caps I need for the power supply, because wouldn't you know, the recapping guide on Recap-A-Mac is for the other brand of power supply, so I'll have to create a recapping guide for the TDK power supply. You know, I might put my original BlueSCSI board through the ultrasonic cleaner if I'm... Yeah, I might as well ultrasonically clean it too. I'm just looking at it. I never ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner. So I'll probably just have a cleaning party for these BlueSCSIs. Yeah. So, anyways, I did figure out what caps I need for my LC2 power supply. I've got them on order. The TDK power supply uses different caps from the Aztec one. Oh, okay, that's right. So the one on Recap-A-Mac is the TDK power supply, and the LC2 I had the Aztec one, and the Aztec caps are different. In fact, it looks like the way this power supply is assembled is even more annoying than the TDK power supply. Because at least on the TDK one, it was easy to desolder the incoming power wires before removing the board. But in this case, I'll have to remove the board and then desolder those wires. Although in that case, I might just be able to really carefully recap it. But so I've got caps on order. Also, if you were watching that stream, you probably noticed that I discovered that the one wire was broken on the power supply lead. I did find a donor power supply on eBay, or rather it was just the circuit board from the power supply, but I'll be able to, worst comes to worst, I'll be able to steal its connector and splice connectors. So I'll at least be able to have a working connector again. Although I did on Mouser's website, I did find connectors that may be the same pin pitch as this connector. Oh, 73 subs. Wow. That's awesome. I might hit 128 yet before Marchintosh is done. So, but anyways, I did find some connectors that are the same pin pitch. I do not know, though, if the connector will go on the connector that's already on the LC's power supply. So I also did buy connectors. If that actually works, I will share the part number if the connector actually fits. But at least it had the same pin pitch and wasn't too expensive. But I did, hopefully I'll be able to get this power supply working for the LC2. I also have some of the caps on order for the logic board. Or no, I haven't ordered those yet, because I was going to order just a bunch of caps. And caps are expensive. So I will order caps so that I can... I may have caps to actually do the LC2 board without having to order any. I'll have to check my stash, because it uses the same caps as the LC, and when I ordered caps for the LC, I ordered like 25 of each because I got a quantity break. So, may not need to wait for caps to recap the LC2. But, coming up, so tomorrow is March 14th, which is Pi Day. And I don't know if anyone can see, but that box right there is tomorrow's Pi Day project. Yeah. So for Pi Day, I will be assembling because I couldn't think of anything better to do. I was going to do this 2CI, but I realized, oh, okay. Now I really am going to come and... Okay, I'm going to fix my camera view, because if I don't do it now, then I'll forget, and we'll... There we go. There we go. So, I'm going to build a Pimeroni Picade. This will be the 10-inch version, because I think this will be a really cool Pi Day project. So this should have everything I need in it. It's actually been a project I've wanted to live stream for a while. I was just waiting for the appropriate time to do so, and Pi Day seems to be as good of a day as any. So that is tomorrow evening's project. Tuesday evening, I am going to recap the 2CI logic board. I do have the caps for that. Those are the surface mount caps I remembered to order. I've got those, and I have a new tool that I just about had to crack out today, but I realized it wasn't plugged in. But I mean, as much as my little the vacuum desoldering station that I had, I just didn't quite like the way it worked. So I broke down and I bought the Hacko desoldering gun. So I just realized that, well, I just might as well buy a Hacko, because Hackos are great. They're reliable, and I can actually order parts for it if I need to replace parts. Because that was the other thing with that little NSD-ZD15, which I'd actually, the one I had, I'd had to return it shortly after the episode of Computer I Start where I showed it, because there was something wrong with it. And I just kept thinking of ordering it, but I realized that that after reading some more of the reviews that, yeah, it is massive, Dave, but it's actually not as heavy as I feared it was going to be, although it still might get a little tiring for lots of pins. But that NSD station, the one problem was, as reviewers kept pointing out as I would look at the reviews to try to decide if I wanted to order another one, is it's hard to get the parts. And while some of the reviewers said that Marlin P. Jones Associates sells the spare parts, unfortunately, it seems like they're having stocking issues because they don't have all of the parts available for it. So I decided that, I'll just buy the Hakko, because Hakko seems to be able to keep their parts in stock. And so I broke down and bought the Hakko. I realized that, I don't need the fancy station with the digital controls and degree accurate settings. The Hakko's control will be accurate enough, and quite honestly, it might be more accurate because Hakko seems to be really good at temperature controls, so it might actually be more accurate, even though it's a dial that they have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and engraved on the side of it, that one is like, oh, what is it? I forget what it is. I think it says in here. Oh, maybe it does not say in the instructions. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 1 is 350 degrees C, and 2 is 400 degrees C, and 3 is 450 degrees C, and 4 is J, the House of Moth Hot, 500 degrees C. Because I don't know if any of y'all saw Jay's latest artwork, but apparently he runs his soldering irons at way too hot of a temperature, so number 4 is probably Jay's temperature on this. So anyways, I'll be looking, because there are a few through-hole capacitors on the 2CI logic board, so that'll be when I give that a try and see how well it works. So anyways, that is what is coming up this week. I am also attempting to get motivated to finish a video I've been working on, because at some point it's going to lead to another video / live stream / probably both, and not to give too much away, but there is going to be a collaboration involved. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say with who just yet. You can guess all you want. I will neither confirm nor deny until I know we're closer to when the collaboration will happen, and then I will probably say something. But anyways, it is going to lead to a collaboration. So yes, and the reason why I have not been as excited to finish editing the video is it did not end as I'd hoped. So it's my motivation meter is down. But I do need to edit it because it will be awkward to have the collaboration and not have that video out, because they kind of go hand in hand. So, but that is what is coming up this week for live streams. If I do manage to get that video edited, it will come out this week too, because I'm going to publish it when it's done, because I've been working on it for the past 4 to 6 weeks, at least. So yeah, it just needs to get done. I know all of you other video creators out there that create videos for YouTube, you probably know that when the video doesn't go as well, it kind of dampers the desire to edit it. So yes, words of encouragement would be appreciated, but I will get it out, because at some point, okay, come on, focus camera, there we go. And at some point, I'm actually going to manage to color calibrate this camera, because it embarrasses me half the time. But anyways, that's a lower priority, because I'd rather be washed out looking, but at least the camera works, and try to get that video out than mess with the silly settings in OBS to try to color correct the camera. So anyways, so that is it for Circuit Sunday today. I now have BlueSCSIs for my Marcintosh projects. I do have empty space As a comment on that empty space, the reason why there is so much empty space down here is because you can't see it, but I need to paint the concrete walls, and then I can actually push some of these shelves where they really need to go, and I won't have quite as much empty space because the dining room in my house is currently full of boxes that need to come to the basement, but I want to paint the walls because I don't want to move full shelves of stuff to paint the walls, and I haven't needed a formal dining room, so yeah. Thanks 2020 and 2021. No formal dining room needed. No one wants to come over. Anyways, so I hopefully will be. I am taking some time, not this week, but I guess next week I'll be actually starting to prep the walls for paint. So if I do any live streams next week, then you might actually see signs of the walls getting cleaned. So anyways, hopefully I'll have progress on the basement too. I will try to find a time where I will do some sort of a stream for the ultrasonic cleaner, because I think you all might be interested just to see what I've got. But anyways, with that, it is 6 o'clock. It's some of your all's dinner time. It's probably my dinner time too, come to think of it. So anyways, you all have a great rest of the day, and I hope to see you here tomorrow evening for Pi Day. So take care, and we'll see you next time.